Hello everyone, I am Phoenix Tremaine and this is my review of Empire. It just went off and I am winging it today. Now, before I get started, if you haven't done so, please subscribe. If you have already subscribed, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Um, this is probably going to be a short review of Empire because I didn't take notes. This is just fresh off the top of my head. I'm not going to remember every detail of Empire. I'm just going to give you my impression of what this episode is because you know I'm long-winded and my reviews can go up to 30 minutes. But this one will probably be less than 10. Empire, really good episode. Some of the momentum is gone. Like, I really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as season one. Season two has kind of been slightly off to me. But every episode has things in it that I love, and as last episode and this episode, I keep seeing more and more things that I like. I especially appreciate that they're not cramming cameos left and right into the show. The only one that I remember off the top of my head in this episode is Pitbull, which is cool because he's a music artist and you didn't have to go through 10 different people before you got to Pitbull. Oh, and Timbaland. Although, because Timbaland's a part of the show, sometimes I just think of him as just regular, not necessarily a guest star. Because you hear his voice, you hear his music, you know when it's Timbaland produced. It just feels like Timbaland versus Neo, since they're both producing for the show now. But this was a good episode. I did enjoy it. I do miss Cookieisms, where every episode before Cookie would say something and then you go on Facebook or Twitter or wherever and then it's just all over the place, like in the first episode where she says you couldn't even dyke right. In this episode, I can't think of anything Cookie said or did that was outrageous. It's like the writing for Cookie has mellowed as the writing for Lucius has increased dramatically. A sign of that was the season finale in season one, where it was pretty much that 2 hour episode was basically all Lucius. It was very little Cookie. And now we've got a lot of Cookie still, but Lucius is really the dominant factor on the show. And a lot of time the show's compared to Dynasty. I've compared it to Dynasty. I've gone online and shown, well, this character is this Dynasty character, etc. and so forth. And now I look at Empire and I see Lucius not as Blake Carrington, but as J.R. Ewing from Dallas, because Blake was ruthless, but J.R. was much more ruthless than Blake, and Lucius is much more ruthless than I think even J.R. J.R. played a long game most of the time. And Lucius is just like, it's not a long game. It's like, he won't even let you get out the gate. As soon as you take a step out, he pushes you back. And that was pretty much the whole episode of Cookie trying to move forward and Lucius just shutting her down at every point. So in this episode, basically Lion Dynasty is trying to get off the ground. It starts off good with, Hakeem, he's getting his rapping in, he's ready to, go out there and the album that he dropped, whether they liked it or not, he leaked it. He's now trying to get radio airplay and just get himself out there so that people know the music and things like that, and then he can actually perform live performances and really make a name for himself. He also does something that Cookie tells him not to do, which is the girl group that he put together, Menage a Trois, is Menage something. And they come together, and like typical girl group, they're falling apart left and right. The lead singer, who said from the beginning she wanted to be solo, she didn't want to be in a group. She's like being a diva, but Cookie is whipping him into shape, even though Hakeem keeps trying to get in the way of letting her do her thing. And he's like, I'm the producer, so she steps back and he's able to do a little something, but she's actually the one that kind of brings them around and whips them into shape. And but once again, at the very end, the big twist was because of Andre. Andre in this episode was just poor, pitiful Andre who constantly just kept going to his father, begging him to be a part of Empire. He continuously shoots him down. A lot of people didn't realize Kelly Rowland was playing Lucius's mother, who had a mental illness. I knew it, but a lot of people were confused about that. For some reason, they thought that Kelly Rowland was playing a young Cookie, when we all know Taraji plays Cookie even in the flashbacks. So it was when they were little babies, it was still Taraji, so I don't understand why people thought Kelly was Cookie. But no, Kelly is playing Lucia's mother, and they're showing why he will not give Andre the benefit of doubt or let him back in Empire, because he doesn't trust him. He feels like, Andre's damaged goods. When Cookie convinced Andre to tell Lucius about his kid, if he really wants to get back in Empire, because they're showing that Cookie really cares about her children, and she, even to her detriment, she's willing to let Andre go back to Empire instead of trying to continuously convince him to stay. So Andre tells Lucius about the kid. Lucius has a flashback of his mother having an episode, and then he, kicks him out again. He's like, aren't you afraid your kid's going to be damaged? So Andre's all fucked up in the head. I'm like, is he trying to drive this boy to suicide or what? He's already fragile. So Andre, the whole episode, tried to get back to Lucius, even bringing him a tip that if he brought this company, he would have control of most of Urban Radio, which at the end, without Andre, Lucius goes ahead and buys the company so that when they go to do this girl group at Sway's radio show, the main singer doesn't show up. And I immediately knew Lucius had something to do with it when he walks in, and he ends up signing her and lets Cookie know he owns all of Urban Radio. And so how is her dynasty going to succeed when he controls radio and she can't get any airplay? So Cookie is like, you can't keep Cookie down. You keep forgetting that. And she walks out. Now, we know as viewers that Cookie, by the end of the season, will be on top. And, Lion Dynasty will be bigger than Empire, or at least able to compete with Empire. So the fun is seeing how she gets to do it. So, and it's almost implied that Lucius fucked Hakeem's girl the way he fucked his girl, Anika. And then he also tries to recruit Anika, thinking that she works for Lion Dynasty to fuck with Cookie and steal, her music files. But, she goes to Cookie to try to get a job or something. Let's work together to get back at Lucius. And you really don't know if she's doing that for Lucius, or is she actually really want to get back at Lucius. So, and then Jamal, he was twisting in the wind. He realized that his father, I mentioned in another video that Lucius only gives conditional love. So if you do this for me and it works, then I'll love you. But if you don't, fuck you. So he did that to Jamal. And when he realized that Jamal was going to go back to Cookie, he offered to produce him himself. So Jamal was happy like a kid in a candy store. He's all smiling and happy. And, oh, Daddy gave me his approval again. He loves me. That bullshit. When he was this close to getting back to Cookie, who, despite his disrespectfulness, we all know would take him back in a heartbeat. So that was pretty much the episode. And I'm glad that they're really focusing on the main characters, Hakeem, Cookie, Lucius. The last thing is the girl whose father he killed in the last episode. He's still desperately trying to recruit her. I have a feeling that the twist may be Cookie recruits her rather than Lucius. But we'll see how that turns out. And that was Empire this week. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It's getting better, but it's not giving me that wonderful, oh shit, I gotta see next week And they keep throwing me off with the promos, as I'm sure they do on you, because when you see the promo, they show you shit that's going to happen 2 episodes later. So Cookie getting arrested, FBI raiding, Empire, all of that shit, we've been seeing for 2 weeks. And now, finally, it happens next week. So, that's it. I'm not going to talk about the prosecutor bitch. She kind of annoys me. She's a little bit too much for me. But other than that, hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you subscribe or, continue to tune in. I'm going to keep doing these videos. I am currently looking for a co-host. I put my ad out, so I should be having some co-hosts applying to be sitting next to me doing these reviews. If you are in the Baltimore area, DC area, you may want to check in that, send me a message. If you want to be my co-host talking about Empire and Janet and all sorts of music things that's happening, movies, television, whatever, hit me up, because I'm looking for a co-host. So that's it for me. I actually made it to 11 minutes. I was trying to do under 10. But like I said, I'm long with it. And it's not just when I'm fucking. So hopefully you enjoyed this and have a good night, evening, morning, whatever you're seeing is. I hope you're having a good day. Later.